Hey peeps, today I'm talking all things piping. Something you will need to consider is piping placement and zippers. You do have a couple of options. My favourite is to hide everything in a side zipper, and I hate side zippers. That's the option that I went for. So this is the side zip and it works beautifully. It is a little stiff and it is maybe not exactly perfect, but again, side zip is under your arm, no one's going to see this. I think if you are going to try and put piping into a dress, if you can get to finish it with a side zipper, brilliant. And if you can avoid having piping meet up like this in the center back, if you have to have a center back zip, even better. If you do want to have piping that will be visible at the center back of your zip, you can match things up. It's very easy to go up because the head of the zip, as you guys know, has a nice smooth profile, but going down we've got that flat edge, so this is a little bit more problematic. It worked perfectly that time. It just needs a little bit of a wiggle past that area. You may also have noticed that the zip isn't necessarily exactly completely invisible at that area, and again, that's because of all the bulk. You can see here I've trimmed out a lot of the cording of the piping from both edges, and the cording starts about there on both of them, so this is essentially flat piping, and that's definitely something you want to do if you're using an invisible zipper to give yourself the best chance of everything matching up nicely. But if that's the only bit of my invisible zipper that's visible, and if this is under the arm, I am more than happy with how this has come out. But it is something to bear in mind. If you can put in a side zipper, it will definitely be less noticeable than a center back zip, but that all worked perfectly. And the lining has been hand filled to the zipper tape, and then the waist seam has been finished in the same way. This is the other option that you can go for with your zipper piping if you really want to negate bulk. And I mean, to be fair, it's just as stiff to get that up and down, but I have put one part of the piping facing downwards and then this part of the piping facing upwards, and in all honesty it doesn't look that different to the green and pink dress because that's slightly off as well. There's less of a gape where the piping meets the actual zipper, but again, this is a much darker fabric and a darker zip, so that could help. It is an option to consider, especially if you're using a side zip. It doesn't actually make the zipping process any easier having just done that and done the green dress up and down, but it's an option. As you've seen, you can either stagger the piping or you can butt the piping right up against each other. The important thing is that you remove a lot of the core of the piping to allow the zipper head to be able to run freely up and down the zipper tape. If you do have to have a center back zip or a center front zip in your project and you do want to include piping in that project, a invisible zip is an option and can be done. You will just need to really make sure, as I've said, that you take the core of the piping out, but you might want to consider other zipper types, other closure methods, not including the piping into a seam that will have a zip in it, or as I've done, move it to a side seam so it's under your arm and nobody can see. I have one large video of all of the mini tutorials back to back, so hopefully I have covered what you're looking for in that. I will link to the playlist and all of the individual videos in the description down below. But if you have any questions, please let me know in the comments section down below and I'll do my best to answer them for you. If you've enjoyed this video, you might want to check out this one here.